welcome back to Praggers Gaming. I'm Gamer Praggers and this is Citizen Sleeper. In the last episode we took on a contract to get some ice for this ship, and as you can see we've lost a dice, so we are going to come in here and use a dice. Recovery failed. Recovery failed. Okay. That's not great. What skill does that use? Recovery. Is that a skill that we just don't use? No. Oh, it's not a skill. Okay, so we've wasted 2 dice on that. We need more work. So... unfortunately... yeah, we got -2 on that. So, yeah, we're so on. Do we want fuel? Not really. I think we. Yeah, maybe. We don't have anywhere to give the data. Like cupcakes. Order a rack. We don't have Spindle core. Explore the core. I mean, it's the only dice we've got. Okay. So, let's end the cycle. And see what... right. I'm going to put that 5 in there. Oh no! I'm being stupid. It's that. Ooh, we got an upgrade point for that. Diagnose your frame. Oh yeah, so explore fast spindle. Minor, major, find potential crew. Minor. So spend time is okay. Explore each section. Okay. But we've got glitched dice. So we've got this. We could order a rack. Yes, we will do that. And getting wrecked. The fast spindle is an exhausting place to find freelancers. There is no shortage of spaces here. The corridors and bays throng with crew, inbound and outbound, on or between contracts, trading stories, contracts and materials. But whatever language, appearance or code identifies someone as worth signing on with, you don't seem to have it. Perhaps it's because you're a new face, or you are noticeably unsure, or perhaps it's just because you are a sleeper. You push the thought to the back of your mind and instead focus on what's in front of you, the vast cylindrical tank at the centre of Gaia's Gaia. The first time you entered the bar, you floated open-mouthed, much like all the new arrivals do at the sight of the huge kelp stack, the biggest you've ever seen. Even now, your eyes fixed on the fronds of seaweed that wave in the circulating water. Beyond the curve of dirty glass, you find it impressive. You take a sip of the harsh, saline-scented rack from its magnetic vessel secured to the bar. As you suck on the straw, your eyes following the shifting fronds, you hear someone clearing their throat beside you at the bar. Hypnotic, isn't it? The voice is low and rumbling and comes from the large figure on the stool next to you. The fluorescent lights behind the bar glint in his eyes, shining up into his wide, rough face.
I've heard you talk, you're hiring.
The figure turns to face you. You don't recognize him, but in the shifting light of Gaia's Gaia, that isn't surprising. From who? He shrugs and looks around the bar. Sleepers tend to draw attention. You follow his eyes around the bar and notice a couple of the patrons are eyeing you. You're Jin, currently freelance. He turns on his stool and leans back a little. The effect is clearly meant to impress you on his size, and you have to admit, it works. Served on a whole slate of crews out of the Spindle. Cutters, mercs, extractors. He smiles and places a broad hand on his chest. Broad skill set, good work ethic, sense of humor, the full package. Humble too. He clucks his tongue, smiling. I like you already. We're going to get on. I'll run anything out to the far Spindle. I'm tough and quiet, and you won't need to worry about me. He folds his arms across his chest. What kind of work are we talking about? Before you can answer, a voice echoes out from behind you. Eugene! You look over your shoulder for the source of the shout. Busy as ever, I see. A group of 3 spacers drift up behind you, one of them placing a heavy hand on your shoulder. She is fitted with matte metal optical implants, and you cannot see her eyes. The caustic light from the tank plays across her face. Too busy to keep in touch? She sighs. I really don't like it when I have to come and find you. Vesna. Eugene nods politely at her, not betraying any strong reaction. Do I look like I'm socializing? He shakes his head. This is a meeting. Oh, a meeting? Vesna squeezes your shoulder. Is that what this is? Yes, Vesna. We're talking about your delivery, in fact. Eugene smiles widely. My friend here is being very helpful. He shoots you a knowing glance. That's right. Vesna turns to you with a raised eyebrow, but before you can speak, Eugene cuts in. This sleeper has a unique ability to extract data. Eugene smiles at Vesna. Exactly the kind of data you've been asking for. So if we can just get back to it, Eugene gestures towards you, then I can deliver what you need. You know, Eugene, I'm pretty tired of this whole act. She gestures dismissively at him. But in the end, it doesn't matter. She drops her hand from your shoulder to your belt. Your eyes follow it down, and you see a dark, boxy shape there. A weapon? You either deliver by the deadline, or you don't. And when you don't, she smiles tightly, I'll be happy to take you through the consequences. Until then, she shoots you a final glance. Chat to whoever the hell you want. Vesna and the 2 spacers flanking her glide out of the bar, and Eugene watches them go with little emotion. So, Eugene's smile returns. You were about to hire me? What was that? Vesna? He shrugs. She's just trying to rush me, that's all. I won't be working with her again. He pauses, choosing his words carefully. Of course, I can't talk about the particulars, you understand? Vesna just wants to scare you off. She likes to cause me trouble. Eugene looks away out of the door of the bar. Let's not let her. He pauses in silence for a moment, still looking away. You try to get a read on him, but his face is blank. Only his glittering eyes hint at some rapid internal activity. He turns back to you and meets your eye, a sudden shift in his manner obvious. If you need crew, you need to work. If you don't need to work, you need cryo, is that right? He doesn't stop for an answer. Well, I can offer both. Hard work and a good contract with a good payout. You take me with you on this job of mine, and we split the take. He looks down, thinking, hell, if you do, I'll consider signing on long term. He smiles. Think of that. No more recruiting. What's the job? Salvage. He leans in. I know of a wreck untouched by local crews, which recently turned up in the wash. It's just a little sunward from here, but its disabled transponder makes it invisible to anyone who doesn't know it's there. Had to squeeze the location out of a contact, but I'll share it with you for a straight split. Take me and your crew, and we'll claim it all. It's going to be a good payout, he winked. A really good one. What's the catch? Eugene frowns. No catch. He leans back and looks around the bar. Happy to take the offer elsewhere. I just felt like you were on the right captain for this one.
I'll be ready to go whenever you like. Eugene pauses. As a show of good faith, I'll also fly out with you on any job from the floor, Spindle. But I'm not leaving the station with you yet. Not till we get my job done first. After that, we can talk, flying together. No need to rush into it. He shakes your hand firmly, his palm rough and pitted, then turns back to his drink. You slip out of the bar, looking to see if Vesna is nearby. You don't spot her among the passing crews, but you can't help but imagine eyes on you in the bar. You shake it off, having become familiar with the feeling of being observed. What matters is you've found yourself a crew member and a contract. Whether either will come good, however, remains to be seen. Okay. Oh, we've got another upgrade point. Okay. So we could... Okay, I'm going to save on points for now. Okay. Was that no. Spindle core, that was it. Let's... Okay. The far Spindle lives up to its name, its tall stature making it a real effort to travel from end to end. The local solution to this problem are the transit tunnels, massive tubes bolted onto the outside of the spindle that allow for rapid passage from bottom to top. As you find yourself in one of these cavernous passages, bulky cargo haulers rushing by, you start to wonder if braving them is worth the effort. Back up! The shout rattles down the bare transit corridor like a gunshot and is rapidly followed by a crunching impact. You spin back, pushing yourself against the side of the wide cylindrical passage. As you do, a hauler glides past, sending a rippling wave of air across you in its wake. When the roar subsides, you hear a string of expletives coming from nearby. A spiky-looking figure clutching some oddly shaped, open-framed object gestures wildly at the vehicle as it glides away. Dickhead! She spits an impressive glob of saliva down the tunnel and it spirals in 0G. She turns to you in your anger. You see that? Tried to slam me into the wall! Total dickhead. She nods firmly. No shit. Haulers hate us. She sniffs and looks you up and down. Not supposed to be in the transit system without a vehicle. She squints. Not like I care, but maybe you do. Right, sorry. Like I said, don't care. She rolls one of her shoulders, stretching out. You're new here, right? Is it that obvious? She shrugs sympathetically. Nothing to be ashamed of. Let me give you a tip. She begins checking her open frame, tightening bolts and untangling pipes. Avoid the haulers, dickheads. A lot of them. Especially the water haulers. They think they're better than anyone. Don't mess with the stevedores, though. They're good people. Get treated like shit by everyone else, just like us. She rapidly plugs and unplugs a series of connectors. They'll show you the shortcuts. She looks up. And never ever give in the Spindlejack's way. She smiles, spinning the vehicle in her hand. Spindlejack? She thumps her chest. You're looking at one. She pauses, considering something, then suddenly she reaches into one of her many pockets and pulls out a small transparent rectangle punched with holes. Text glints within it, reading, Cadet. Stripline Express. You take it. Cadet. Cadet. She flexes proudly. That's me. Stripline is my outfit. Kamal the Dispatcher, small outfit, but we punch above our weight. Dispatch is here in the Spindle's core, but I run the transit tunnels up and down the Spindle 10 times a cycle. You need anything moving on the Spindle, data, tech, messages, too hot for the hardline? Come find me. You're a courier. Got it in one. She kicks off the wall and mounts her bike, triggering a small burst of compressed air to keep herself steady in the transit passage. You hear a buzz of distorted speech from what you assume is her dispatcher. Cadet angles her head to her communicator and mutters back into it. Gotta hop, sleeper. She looks over at you, and something flickers in her eyes. An idea, or perhaps just a realization. You might be able to help me with something. Package has been bothering me. She squints down the passage. Come to the office's stripline in a few cycles, and I'll show you. Sure. We'll call it a favor on Academy saving you from being flattened by the hauler. She winks. Now you better get out of here before another hauler tries to squish you. You step back and she twists the handlebars and a burst of air sends her flying down the transit corridor at an unsettling speed. You watch her go, slightly caught off guard by her final remarks. What would a courier need you for? You turn the idea over in your head as you find a way out of the transit corridor back to the safety of the main concourse. Okay. So we can't do anything with that yet. And we've got the trade hall. Let's fill the supplies and fill the fuel. There we go. Signal station. Okay. Right, let's head back to the rig. And I think we're going to end the cycle. Okay. Right. One thing we are going to do there. Right. And then what we're going to do is we are going to do this. It's risky, but we are going to -3. Hang on. No, we're not actually. So what we found out at the end of the last episode was this countdown is -3 per travel. So obviously if we go and do a contract, it takes 3 down, but while we're here, it will add 1 to the hub. So in order to get the most out of it, we need to stay here for another cycle. Which is fine. We don't need any supplies. But if we put that in there, and we got some cryo. Okay. See what happens. Yeah, nice. I mean, we got to use a glitch die somewhere, haven't we? Right. Now, the other thing we could do is scrap, but the only place we can get scrap is down here. I'll buy scrap components for 22. The problem is that then comes down to by 2. Yeah. And that's a -2 as well. So we're kind of stuck. Okay. We did earn a stress then. Okay. Right. Yeah, we need 2 to be able to do that. We don't have that. So let's end this end the cycle. We've lost a dice. That's not great. Sleeper! Cadet drifts from the shadows outside Bliss's Bay, looking around nervously as she approaches. Seems like I'm gonna need to call in their favour. Her face is pale and deathly serious. What favour? She doesn't seem to hear you, distracted by a group of spacers gliding noisily down the passage behind her. She waits until they pass. Someone hit strip line. No idea where Kamal is. Bunch of goons tearing the place apart as we speak. She screws up her face in pain. Even tried to grab me, but those muscle heads are slow.
Who would attack a courier?
No idea. She shakes her head. These were typical Renner thugs. Could have been anyone with chits to burn. Remember that package I asked for your help with? The one that was bothering me?
Remember you mentioning it.
I reckon it's just got something to do with it. The job was a bust, an express run all the way to the underhang, but when I got there, no one home.
She's whispering now, leaning close.
Place was smashed up, like someone got there first. Should have dumped the package and ran, but I brought it back like a good girl, stashed it in a safe spot at strip line. Thought that the sender might come to recover it, and when they didn't, well, I got curious, popped it open. She shakes her head. Stupid thing to do. Inside was a drive encrypted to hell and back. When I ran into you, well, I heard sleepers are good with data, with tech, so I thought you might be able to take a look at it. She shrugs. Now Stripline's trash too? Here's the thing. Back when I popped it open, I noticed the drive had a dispatch marker, Hexport.
Could it be connected to...
Hexport getting atomized? Yeah, that's where I'm at too. This thing was sent from just before it got cooked. She pauses. And with that kind of attention I've been getting in the past couple of cycles. She slips a hand terminal from her bag, taps a couple of times, then holds it up to you.
Cadet stares out at you from the screen, straight-faced and pale. Beside her picture you see the block capitals, Spindlejack, KD754, in breach of fast spindle codes. B12 and F34, reward for information leading to capture, considered dangerous. Dickheads blasted all out of the transit channels. Every Spindlejack hauler and freight carrier is going to be watching for me. She pulls back the hand terminal, angrily stuffing it away in her bag. Something's going on. Anyone who can help? She looks away. Spindlejacks don't make friends easily. And now all the couriers I do know they are looking to turn me in for a payout. She snaps her head back to the side, her eyes flashing with anger. Why do you think I'm here? It's time for that favor, Sleeper. My connections are burnt. Hell, my whole career is gone. I need to fight back. If I walk away, there's nothing to walk away to. She softens a little. I need your help. What can I do? I need you to get the drive. She takes a breath. If they want it that much, then I can use it to buy my way out of this shit show. And I tucked it away somewhere safe, so my guess is they haven't got it yet. You just slip in, I'll give you the location and pull the thing out. She folds her arms. Should be simple. None of this is simple. Just snatch it and go. Don't overthink it. Look, this thing turns out to be worth something, you'll get your due. All I want is my life back. The drive is in the workshop. There's a loose panel behind the airbag rack. She leans in. It's taped to the back of the fuse box inside. I gotta keep heading down Spindle to the overhang, past the end of the transit tunnels. No one will rat me out down there. She glances around. I'll come find you when it's done. I've still got some network access. I'll know when you go in. She winks, offering no further explanation. My bike's locked up nearby. I'm gonna hop. She pauses. Do me this favor, then we are clear. Stay safe. Doing my best, Sleeper. She gives you a mock salute. She slips back into the shadows, and a few moments later you hear the percussive pulse of an airbike accelerating away. You know at least what it's like to be on the run to flee for your life, and in that you feel an empathy, a connection with Cadet. But from every other angle, this thing looks like bad news, the kind a sensible person would steer well clear from. And perhaps you would steer well clear if it wasn't for one detail that has stuck in your mind. That drive is from Hexport. Is all that enough to send you down to Stripline in search of that drive? Only time will tell. Okay. We all know that yes it will. What? Okay. Let's try that. Okay. Right. Let's go to the rig. There we go. So we'll have no more glitch dice. But we'll end the cycle. We do have one dead dice though.
Sleeper. Seraphine catches your attention as you go to leave the ship. Can I have a minute? Of course. Seraphine ducks into a maintenance passage and waits for you to follow. In the narrow passage framed by loose wires and thick conduits, Seraphine looks suddenly small, trapped. He looks at an open circuitry panel as he speaks, avoiding your gaze. You see he's playing with a coin in his hand, nervously spinning it in the air. Since we cleared Hexport, I've been putting feelers out for something. He rubs his hands nervously. I've been in the belt a long time, and I came here alone, but back on Darkside, just before we made a break for it, I heard something. I heard someone was looking for me. He pauses, trying to organise his thoughts. It was after you. I also heard something else. They said the person looking for me claimed to be my sister. He waits for your reaction. You have a sister? I did, yeah. Or, I do. He shakes his head, but I don't even know if it's really her. Just because someone says they're my sister? Well, I can't be sure. The thing is, I haven't seen my sister in a long time. I was still a kid when I left. So was she, though I don't think she would have liked to admit it at the time. He smiles to himself. I know you don't remember how it was back in Darkside, I mean. He sighs. But we were alone, you and me. Lane didn't let us out much, just to work, and that was all. So when I overheard one of the guys mention someone was sniffing around, trying to find me, I didn't know what to think. He frowns. And then hearing it could have been my sister, he goes quiet. You try to recall that time, the cycle spent under Lane's influence, working for him in exchange for stabilizer. You close your eyes, focus, but the details flicker. The images collapse and reform. Has Seraphine told you this before? Was this all part of your plan? You wanted to go find her? Yes, he shrugs. It changed things for me, the thought that she could be out there. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to get you out of there too. He pauses, and you sense he is finding this difficult. I know it doesn't matter now, but I told you about her back then, before. I'm sorry, I don't remember. It's okay, Sleeper. I understand. Since we got away, since Hexport, I've been asking around, speaking to spacers, traders, and like I said, something's finally come up. It seems whoever was trailing me left Darkside pretty soon after Utsubu caught wind of her sniffing around. I doubt they made her feel very welcome, but I managed to get a name. The name she gave? Luz. Wasn't my sister's, but that doesn't mean much. He gave me something to follow. She bounced around the wash for a little. Spindle, flotsam, not sure why. He squints at a loose wire. The last thing she did was book passage to Wellspring on a low-tech freighter, that's it. How do you know this? Mostly ship manifests and port records. A few favours on the quiet. I want to go to Wellspring, Sleeper, to know if it's really her, and if it isn't, to settle what needs settling. Let's do it. Thank you, Sleeper. He meets your eye. I will admit it has been strange reminding myself that everything we talked about back on Darkside, everything we did, is lost now. He smiles. But I'm glad to see you're still you, whatever that means. Me too. He nods. Anyway, better get back to it. Seraphine squeezes past you in the corridor and glides back towards the engine room. You watch him go, wondering if your past together can ever be reclaimed. Your mind wanders to thoughts of Seraphine's sister. For a moment you wonder what it is like to have a family, and if you will ever know. Okay. Right. So we need to come up here. Right, let's get some food. You slide the loose panel away from the wall, letting it float there beside the airbike rack. Behind it, in the dark, you see the blinking lights of the fuse box. A noise nearby draws your attention for a moment. The scrape of a sliding door, maybe? Or just some old system cycling in the walls. It took long enough to gain access to the Stripline Express bike garage, and longer still to find a safe route to the airbike racks. But you're almost there. You've seen and heard the hired muscles searching and guarding this place, but have been lucky enough not to come face to face with them yet. You turn back to the darkness behind the panel. If what Cadet said is right, the drive is taped to the back of the fuse box in front of you. You reach through and around, slowly, carefully, and your hand settles on something cold and metallic in the dark. It is taped firmly to the box. You pull at it, but it doesn't budge. A quiet rattle echoes from the dispatch office next door. You freeze for a second. It seems Cadet was a little too enthusiastic with the tape. You close your eyes and feel for the seam of the tape. Taking your time, you pick at it, working each piece away from the drive. You hear a clattering sound nearby as you peel off the final piece, and the drive spins into your hand. Time to move. You slip the drive inside your coat and kick away from the wall, gliding back towards the maintenance corridor you entered from. As you cross the bike garage, you hear voices in the dispatch office next door. Just as you tuck yourself into the cool darkness of the maintenance corridor, a screech indicates the opening of a door from the office next door. Voices rumble through the room, and you quickly and quietly push yourself deeper into the guts of the building. Too close. Barely daring to breathe, you carefully make your way through the maze of passages that brought you here, their doglegs and dead ends now familiar. Eventually you spot a thin slit of light ahead, making the loose panel you lifted open to gain access. You take a deep breath, almost there. As you reach the gap, you freeze. Voices rumble from behind, and peering through, you see two figures in dark clothes searching the chaotic bay behind the strip line. Your eyes are drawn to the dark boxy weapon one holds at their side. Shit. You hiss silently to yourself, your eyes searching for a path through. You wait, silent and still as the figures search. They split and drift across the bay. You take the chance, sliding open the panel and slipping behind the scrap boxes at the edge of the room. You work your way around until you can't find any further. You kick off hard, making a dash for the far side of the bay and the public passage beyond. There's a hiss and the guttural chatter of a pressure valve, and an airbike pulls up beside you in the passage. Cadet leans over and grabs the collar of your coat. Hop on! In a moment, you're on the back of the airbike, clutching the strap of Cadet's bag as she guns it down the passage, the air resistance almost ripping you out from the thin seat. You lean against her back and let out a sigh, the drive pressing into your ribs, beneath your jacket. Oh, excuse me. You did it. Still alive back there? Cadet's voice brings you back from the hypnotic rhythm of the tunnel lights rushing past the airbike. She slows the bike with a rapid series of hisses, and you realise she has brought you back to the passage outside Bliss's Bay. You try to understand the route she took, a long loop through the branching transit tunnels of the station, but give up. You can let go now. She straightens up and you unhook your fingers from her bag strap, separating yourself from her back. You push off the bike gently and float in the passage beside her. You okay? Looked pretty rough back there. She smiles. Appreciate putting it all on the line for me. Who were those good guys? Your guess is as good as mine, she shrugs. Didn't look like anyone nice though, I wouldn't sweat it. She smiles. Go on then, let's see the drive. You fish the drive out of your jacket and hand it over. That's the one! She squints at it. Should have chucked it when I had the chance. You get your first look at it, and there's not much to see. A small lump of solid state memory with a few markers on the case. You spot a yellow hex among them. Hex ball. What now? She winks, slides her bag around her shoulder to the front, and slots the drive neatly into her pocket. I know someone in the scatter yards who can crack anything. She'd be my first port of call to crack this thing open. She stretches her shoulders, and I should make myself scarce from the Spindle anyway, before those dickheads catch up with me. Come with us. Appreciate the offer, but I think it's best if we go our separate ways for now. 2 targets are harder to track than 1. She cycles the pressure valve on the bike impatiently. Cadet leans away from her bike, squinting out of the viewing window at your ship behind. They're yours? She doesn't wait for an answer. If I'm not mistaken, that old thing is going to struggle to reach the scatter yards. Unless you've added a HasNav suite. HasNav? Yeah. Belt between here and the scatter yards is drowning in debris, where it sits hexport. You'll need hazard navigation to make the crossing safely. Lodex Indica created the tech to help their tankers cross the belt, common knowledge. Cadet nods at your ship. Maybe if you head up to Wellspring, you can barter or steal a suite, she adds casually. Here. Cadet unties a bag lashed to a bag frame and holds it out to you. Not enough here for a refit, but maybe you'll find some use for them. You take the bag and something clings inside. As you do, you open it to see a couple of engine components. I was going to use them to boost her. She taps the frame of the airbike. But you deserve them. She meets your eye, then looks away. Not like I'll be doing any runs for a while anyway. Thanks. It's nothing, like I said. You deserve them. She flexes a finger on the bike's handles, eager to be away. Cadet's airbike stutters and purrs, trembling in the air like an arrow ready to be loosed. See you around. She winks and guns the throttle, zipping off down the passage with a pulse of air that ripples through your clothes. You stare after her as she goes, the bag of components still hanging in your hand. You realise as you look down the passage that you never asked how Cadet plans to get to the scatter yards. That question, like a score of others, will have to wait until you run into her next, although you have a feeling she will find a way to slip away before you can ask them next time too. You head back towards your ship to stow the components, idly wondering if you could justify buying an airbike to Seraphine as you do so. Okay, so we've now got another upgrade. Okay. Right. I'm going to take that, because that now puts us at 0 for engineer. And we are going to no. Oh, we can't go to Wellspring. We could go to Helion Gate, or we could go to Flotsam. Yeah, the Wellspring, but we can't get there. Okay. Right. Do we do this? Hang on. Flotsam. Wellspring. Helion Gate. We could go to Flotsam. Or we go. Let me know down in the comments what you think we should do. Do we go to Flotsam or do we do the contract for Eugene? Either way, this is where we're going to end the episode. Thank you for hanging out. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, ticking the bell so you know when new videos go live. In the description is a link to the channel Discord. Feel free to come and talk about the games you're playing, the games I'm playing, games in general. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.